All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning into the call tonight. We're going to be very, very short and sweet. I promise you. We're not going to keep you here very long at all. We're going to be 15 minutes at most. But I want to start off, first of all, to say that you guys are all tuned in tonight. Some of you guys listening to this for the very first time. Some of you guys have heard this several weeks that we've been leading up to this. Some of you guys have actually got on this call because somebody just sent you a phone number and said, look, you just got to listen in on this tonight. Here's what we want to talk about tonight. We've got something that we've developed here, and we started this about, actually this has been about 6 months in the making. This is something that we really started working hard on. We started trying to figure out a way to generate some money for not only us, but for some other people as well. And this just kind of grew itself into something that manifested itself into something that I think for a lot of us, in fact, I think once you guys start to grasp and grab a hold of this, you're going to understand just how big this thing is. But I think all of us that are involved in this call right now are getting ready to make a whole lot of money. And let me explain to you a little bit about how that works. Kay and I have been involved with some different programs in the past. We have done some things over the last several years. In fact, I've been doing this full-time for 6 years. This is all that I do. This is my full-time income. I don't have any other income that comes in from anywhere else. What I'm getting ready to tell you guys about is how the income comes in. Now, here's how we got to where we are. We have been involved with some other programs in the past. They had done very, very well. We had made some good money. We had a lot of our friends who had made some really good money with them. But we were looking for a way to get the masses paid. And the reason I say that is because we had tried some things in the past that, and this is kind of one of the things that we realized, if you can get a lot of people paid very, very fast and very, very quickly with some substantial income, and I'm not talking 10, 20, 30 bucks here. I'm talking about some substantial money here. If we could get people paid very, very quickly, we knew that this was spread like wildfire. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, about the social media and how this thing is going to happen. But what we did is we actually had a concept. Kay and I actually sat down one night, and we just kind of put our heads together and tried to figure out a way to make something happen. We actually got with some good friends of ours who were very prominent in the programming world about making things happen and about running companies. They agreed to come on board with us, and we agreed with them. If you'll handle kind of the back end of this and the back office and the administration side and the payout and the processors and all those type of things that come along with it, if you'll handle that part of it, we'll gather a group of people together, and we'll see what we can do with this. Well, here's what happened, guys. About a month ago, literally just about a month ago, I called about 7 of my good friends, and I hand-selected these people. I actually called them up, and I said, look, we're thinking about putting something together. Is this something that you would be interested in? And let me explain to you what's going to happen. And I went through the whole process and told them all about it. Every single one of those guys, get this, every single one of those told me, absolutely, tell me when we can start, what we got to do, and we're on board with it. That's what started about a month ago. Well, in the last 30 days, and guys, this is all coming to fruition here on August the 8th. You got it all ready today that we're going to launch this thing. We got these people together, and actually it's grown to about a group of 10 people now that we have gotten together with, and this thing is just gone nuts. I cannot believe the numbers that are coming in right now. In fact, let me give you some numbers to kind of relate to. Without going into all the details about how all this is going to work, we started a Facebook page yesterday. I think it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We started this Facebook page. It has already grown to over 300 people who have joined that Facebook page. That's how fast this thing is growing. I've gotten calls today from people who have told me they have already gotten over 2,000 people who are getting ready to get started with what we're getting ready to talk about tonight. But the thing that I wanted to talk about, without going into any great detail, because again, the person that got you on this call can explain it more in depth than I can, but what I want you guys to understand is the positioning and the timing that is getting ready to happen right now. Now, what we're talking about putting together is called a cash cycler program. Now, if you're not familiar with cash cyclers, I would highly encourage that you do some research on this and you understand how much money these things can generate, because they can generate a lot of money. In fact, Kay and I can tell you this factually, I've made more money with cash cyclers than I made in 16 years as a real estate developer. And that was in the good economy. That was when things were booming and people were buying houses and banks were loaning money. Cash cyclers are hands down, by far, the best way to make an income, especially when you're in this arena. The reason why we put this program together, I've got a couple of guests that I'm going to bring on here tonight. The reason why we put this program together is because Kay and I have tried some other things in the past, and many of you guys have done the same thing. I mean, you've tried the juice companies and the vitamin companies and the lotions and potions. We've all done the diet product pills. We've all done the long-distance telephone calls, and Everybody seems to have tried everything in the past. And they're all great companies, great products, great pay plans, but it takes a lot of work to be able to make that happen. The thing that we didn't like about that, and this is just us, this is only speaking for ourselves, the thing that we didn't like about those is that we only got paid for what our team did, and everybody else got paid on what their team did. We wanted to create something that would generate an income that no matter who did what, every single person coming into the company benefited somebody else. And that's what cash cyclers do. When I say cash cyclers, I mean every single person that comes into the company benefits somebody else. Again, the comp plan and the logistics of it can all be explained to you by the person that got you on this call. Here's what I want to do tonight. Obviously, we have a product that goes along with this, that you have to have a product that's going to make things legal and keep you above board. We have software products. They do great things. If you use them, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But those are the things that actually make us legal. The cash cycler program is what actually makes this thing happen. Now, the thing that's different about this program, that I think you're going to find different from any other program out there, in fact, this has never, to my knowledge, ever been attempted before in history. We're talking about leading from what's called a 2x2 matrix into another 2x2 matrix. I'm going to talk just a little bit about that. Give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to bring a couple of guests on. But most companies, most cash cycle programs are started on what's called a 2x3 matrix. That just simply means that it takes 32 people. Do the math with me, guys. 32 people coming into your organization before you ever make a single dollar. That's what has to happen before anything takes place. Well, what we've created, it takes 7 people. 7 people is the absolute maximum amount, and for some of you people, it's only going to take 5. It just depends on where you start in the program. But the maximum amount it would take would be 7. So what we've talked about is an 86% less people that it will take for you to be able to generate the income that you can make here. Now some of those figures, just kind of maybe, running right by your head right now. You're not quite gathering all this information in. But here's what I want you guys to understand. Positioning is everything. What we've started here has not even launched yet. We've got a program that's already in place. Website's done, back office is done, sign-up screen's done, payment processors are done, payout processors are done. Everything is in place. On August the 8th, we're going to kick this thing off. And what we're giving people a chance to do is a chance to be able to build a couple of people, a small little team of people, if they want to call it that, to be able to kick this thing off when we launch this on August the 8th. Now, again, this call is not to convince anybody of anything. That's not to coerce anybody. It's not to persuade anybody. In fact, there's nothing here that I can pitch to you that's going to make you think this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. We don't have any monthly auto ships. There's no website fees. There's no monthly fees. There's nothing you're going to have to go out there and sell or pitch to your friends. The UPS man is not going to drop something off at your door. I want you to get all that stuff just removed from your mind, because that's not what this is about. What we have created, I think, in my opinion, is probably going to put cyclers on the map of history. I think this thing is going to go absolutely viral. We've already seen it start to happen. This thing has started to spread literally all across the world. We're already getting calls and messages in from Russia, Brazil. We're getting calls in from Pakistan. We're getting calls in from Canada. We're getting people from all across the world, and literally it's all because of social media. Now, what is social media? I'm 44 years old. I don't understand social media. I don't understand how it all works, but here's what I do know. I can get on Facebook, and I can type a little message up, and before I know it, everybody in the world can see it. Those that choose to do so. There's Instagram. There's Pinterest. There's Twitter. There's emails. The generation that understands social media can understand that this can travel so fast. And guys, we have proven that, literally. Go to our Facebook page. It's Race Cycler on Facebook. We can send you a link if you need to get that. Just look at what's happened over the last 24 hours. I mean, we've had over I just checked it a while ago. I think it was 311 people have joined us in less than 24 hours. That's how fast this thing is moving. So I want to bring a couple of my good friends on. These are a couple of people that I actually called on day one when we actually got this concept together before this was ever even a reality. We called a couple of people up and said, hey, I got an idea. If we can make this actually happen, will you guys be willing to get on board with us? So I want to bring a good friend of mine, Rob Combs, on board. He's a guy from North Carolina. I called him I think it was about a month or so ago. I called you up. I think I sent you a text message, actually. Sent you a text message, and I said, hey, I got an idea here that could just knock the socks off of anything we've ever done. Now, Ron had been involved with some things in the past. He had done some other programs, made some great money. He was a great leader. He was in the top 4% of some other companies he was in. Didn't need this money. But when I actually sat down with him and I showed him what we were talking about doing, I just kind of seen a light bulb go off. It's almost like, how fast can you get me started into this thing? So I just want to ask Rod two questions only, and then we're going to go to our next guest. But Rod, I want to ask you, what was it when you heard or seen this, what was it that influenced you to want to kind of get back into the game again and want to make another run with this?
Well, first of all, Ken, I'll tell you that success follows success. And the fact that you've been successful, you know what you're doing, you really paid attention in the past, and you want to help others be successful is a big difference. And the fact that I have done things in this arena, not so much a cash cycler program before, but other things and been successful, I know what the industry's about. I know there's a lot of money that can be made. I've never done this more than part-time. I've always had a corporate job, and I've always seen how it can almost double my income in corporate America. So with that being said, when you started telling me the things that this wasn't, which is what you've already covered, it's not monthly auto ships, it's not products, it's not all the things that I really don't like about some of the other businesses I've done. And like you said, that's me. You know, it's okay if people want to go out there and sell products. But the fact that you told me about all this and then the changes that you've made from some of the other programs in the past to this one, it was a no-brainer, quite honestly. And when I ran it by some other friends of mine that I knew were kind of eager to, get back out there and make some money, they all were 100%, I'm in, we're doing this because this makes a lot of sense. And since then, our team that is going to start on August 8th has just grown like crazy.
Hey, Ron, I'm going to ask you this here. I'm kind of putting you on the spot right here. And again, guys, nobody knows what the questions I'm going to ask. Rod, you have done some things in the past, and I remember one of the things I told you about when we were going to kick this thing off. I said, we're not going to do any meetings. There's going to be no hotel conventions. There's no Super Saturdays. We're not going to be traveling around doing home parties. We're not going to be selling or pitching anything. What was it about that? Because I can remember, I sat on your back deck one night, and you told me, you said, oh, my gosh, if I ever had to do that again, I don't know what I would do with myself. What was it about this that you've seen in this program and what we're talking about doing that's so different from all of the things? Not that they're bad and not that they don't make money, but for the people that don't want to do that, why was this so different for you?
Well, I've got two children, and so I've got a family, and I like spending time with my family, especially as they're getting older and, soon going off to college and those type of things. So the fact that I could build a business sitting here at my home without doing the first home party, without having to go to anybody's house, without trying to convince them that this product was better than anything else they were taking. Oh, and by the way, now you need to go to other people's homes and try to convince them of the same thing. When I realized that I don't have to do that, and the income, the potential income that I can make here will far exceed anything I've ever done in the past, again, that right there just blew my mind, Kent.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I'm going to bring Steve West on the line right now. Steve West is a friend of mine who I met. Actually, I met on Facebook. Steve and I have never, we've never broke bread together. We've never had a drink together. I don't think we've ever shaken hands together. But Steve is a guy that I met on Facebook one day, and I kind of watched him through the last several months, maybe the last year or so. And I was watching him and Adelina and the things that they were posting, and I always look for things like that, positive input, things that people are posting on Facebook, and watching, kind of the personality that a person has. And he was one of the guys that I called up. I just said, look, we're getting ready to do something here. I'd love to have you guys be a part of this. Now, this guy has literally, guys, listen to me, this guy has lit this thing on fire, absolutely on fire. Steve, I want to ask you a couple of questions as we kind of wrap up the call here. But you guys have gotten involved with this. You're kind of on the front end of this. This thing is not even launched yet. This thing is not even going live until August the 8th. On August the 8th now, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be like a NASCAR event. It's going to be like a absolute rolling thunder coming off of turn number 4 on the Daytona 500. You have no idea what's getting ready to happen right here. But Steve, I want to ask you this. And the reason I've got you on here is because you've done a lot of things just like I have. In fact, there are a lot of people on this call who have tried everything. They've done everything. They tried every program. They tried this and that and whatever, and nothing worked, and this worked, and we made a little money here, and we lost some money there. What is it about this program, especially this, being on the front end of it before it even launches? Why is that so important for people to understand that they have got to get involved now? Because that is so crucial in my mind. What do you see happening here as we kick this thing off on August the 8th?
Hey, Ken, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Welcome, everyone on this call. Listen, guys, it's something very important. When you can get in front of a company that's innovative in the marketplace, doing something completely different, and is going to show results in its first couple of minutes, first couple of hours, continue to show it in days and days of people cycling and getting paid, you got something on your hands that you can't even control. Right now, when Ken gave me the call, I started to think about it. I am a one person. I do one company. I work it at a time when I do build a company. And I am in a company right now. I'm doing very successful in that company. And I'll tell you what attracted me to this and why I decided to take my eyes off the company and be able to jump on this and bring in my whole team into this company and build from that is that as we just heard about companies going into home meetings, building with lotions, potions, and pills. Guys, it's all great. It's a wonderful type of income. You can make a great life, but here's the problem. When you're building stuff like that, you're constantly moving products. You're constantly working with your downline to keep them active, to keep them functioning. You're going down directly into their downlines. It can burn you out. It's been 11 months. I make a good income, but literally I'm burnt out. I have no time with the family. It's more important family than money. And I saw this opportunity. When we sat down and talked about it, I know cyclers. I love cyclers. The problem with cyclers is we weren't able to get our whole teams through the cyclers due to some of the features, jumping features, massive splitting boards, breakage. When we broke this down and we saw that this was just a machine, that once we started putting the gas in, which is people, this thing was going to go and it was going to go fast. And that's what got me excited. Not only that, I can actually start to guarantee all my people that they're going to make money. And all they simply have to do is refer 2 people to it. If they don't refer 2 people to it, they're still going to make money, but they're not going to make the most money. They're going to still come out of this company with a profit. And that's something that nobody can say in any other internet marketing company in the world right now, is that if you sit on the couch and you don't do anything, you're still going to profit $10 on every cycle. I don't know what other company can say that. I mean, that's the downside. The good side is you walk away with a $1,970 profit for going to work. If that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will.
Steve, I love that. The downside is you make money. The upside is you make a lot of money. I mean, that's pretty good downside. And let me ask you this right quick, because I know that you and Emily, you spend a lot of time on Facebook as well as I. We spend a lot of time in social media, and in fact, Facebook is really the only social media that I use. Let me ask you this, and I'm going to have to call it for this. I want you to talk a little bit about this. Most people do not really comprehend. I mean, in fact, I'm 44 years old. I'm just now starting to grasp this social media and starting to understand how powerful this thing is. When people start to make money, and we already know what's getting ready to happen. I mean, we've got well over 2,000 people who are getting ready to join this. I mean, think about that, guys. 2,000 people that are getting ready to come into this, and there's going to be thousands and thousands more. When those people start to hit this, and they start to make money, and money is flowing, and they can really show somebody, and this is not, what I'm expected to make, this is not what I'm on track to make, but this is what I've actually made, and they can show somebody that. It starts to hit the social media outlets and starts to spread across Facebook. Where do you see this thing happening up with the next, and I'm going to just say in the next 30 days. I'm not even going to go a long time frame, but in the next 30 days, when this thing starts to go viral and spreads like wildfire, and everybody finds out about it, where do you see this thing kind of going over the next 30 days?
Ken, I got to be honest with you. With something like this, we're saying 30 days, I see this thing exploding a lot quicker, because here's the problem. Most people that get into companies don't make money for 3 to 6 months, if they do at all. Here's something we're going to put money out within the first couple of hours, not even the first couple of hours. People are going to be cycling almost immediately when the site goes up. When you got people running around social media that can reach the world, as you said earlier, and they're screaming they just made money, 2 questions are going to be asked by people. Is it legal? And how do I get started? There's no more recruiting. When you can take this pitching and the selling out of a product and just sit down and talk to people about how they can make an income and how they can make that income very quickly, if they just come to work with you and start to build up with their 2 people, help their 2 people get 2 people, you've got a company that can attract, seriously, 40,000 in less than a month. That's how powerful this can go. Just do the numbers. 2 equals 4, 4 equals 8. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And we're not talking about people that say if you can push the products, have meetings. We're speaking of simply getting yourself positioned in a cycler at the beginning when people are coming in and forcing that cycler through. people are just going to be attracted to this so quickly. I could see 40,000 in the first month. I know I might be sounding crazy, but 40,000 is nothing on social media. It's just that quick and that powerful.
No, Steve, that's not crazy at all. I mean, I can see numbers way beyond that. Way beyond that. As a reference to call, I want to add one final thing. There is this Facebook page that we've actually created. Actually, a good friend of mine up in Canada, Todd Kazinka, he actually created the Facebook page to kind of group everybody together so they can ask questions and everybody can get any interest or any concerns that they may have answered right there in that Facebook room. If you don't have access to that Facebook room, here's what I would advise you to do. Get with the person that got you on this call. If you're somebody that I got on the call tonight, get with me on Facebook or email, text, phone call, whatever, and I'll get you the information to be able to get in that Facebook room. I'll get you a lot of the information. Here's the thing that I want to stress, though. As this thing leads up to August the 8th, and guys, take it from me. Again, this is not a call to convince anybody to do this. This is a call to simply let you know what's getting ready to happen. And it will happen. It's going to happen with or without you. Make no mistake about it. It's going to be all over Facebook. It's going to go viral. It's going to go worldwide. Everybody's going to find out about it. We've done this in the past. We've made a lot of good money. A lot of other people have made good money doing things like this. What we have created, what we think in our mind, is probably the best cycle that's ever been created. In fact, it's never been attempted before. There's so many features that we put into this. There's no jump feature. Nobody can go past you. You go from a 2x2 to a 2x2. There's an automatic recycle that puts you right back into the system again. You can cycle as many times as you want to. And I know a lot of you guys listening to this call, you're thinking, what in the world is he talking about? What's a cycle? I don't even understand what a cycle is, and that's okay. This call is not to try to convince you or get you to totally understand the whole concept. The purpose of this call tonight is to simply tell you this. We are getting ready to have something out on August the 8th. It is going to happen, and it's going to take place. It's going to be known worldwide. It's going to generate a massive, massive amount of income for a lot of people. A lot of people. And a lot of those people, you're probably going to know somebody who's affected by it. It's going to happen whether you do this or not. That's the purpose of this call. It's just to let you know what's getting ready to happen. If you'd like to be a part of it, I would highly encourage that you get with the person who got you on this call tonight. If you don't want to be a part of it, then by all means, just keep doing what you're doing. That's not what this call is about, and that's not how anybody's going to treat this opportunity as we move and progress forward. That's the purpose of the call tonight. So, having said that, thank you so much, Steve and Rob, for being on the call tonight. We're going to wrap it up with that. I know I went a little bit over 15 minutes, and I apologize for that. But the call has been recorded. We'll get this out to an email tomorrow to the email list that we have. We're going to send it out, and you guys can forward that on to whoever you want to. But here's what I would tell you guys. If you have any inkling whatsoever, nobody's asking you to pull your wallet or your credit card out right now. The total cost to get started here, let me go ahead and tell you guys this, it's going to be $230. $30 of that, roughly $29.95, is going to be covering the PayPal fees and things of that nature. That's what you're going to pay in with. We're going to pay out through Solid Trust Pay. Again, if you're new, we can show you how to get all that set up, no big deal. But about $230 is what it's going to take you to get started here. You're going to pay that one time. You'll never pay another fee to get started here. Everything else will come out of your earnings if you choose to recycle yourself. There's nothing to sell, nothing to pitch, nothing to go out there and try to convince somebody. You're not going to be having a bunch of home meetings, home parties, and hotel meetings, conventions, and super Saturdays, and trainings, and things of that nature. A lot of us have done things like that in the past. Not that they're bad, but a lot of us just don't want to do that anymore. So you don't have to worry about anything of that nature. But that's what it's going to cost you, $230 to get started here to roll off on this thing with us. And for those that do, I can almost guarantee you guys, you're going to make some substantial income here. For those that don't, you're going to watch the rest of us do it. And that's pretty much point blank how I can put it. It's just going to happen with or without you. So anyway, I'll wrap the call up with that. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We're going to be holding some more of these calls tonight. Actually, not tonight, but tomorrow night. We'll try to do it every night leading up to the kickoff here on August the 8th. And we'll leave it with that. And you guys have a great evening. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.